people still in critical condition tonight after this head-on crash. Authorities say the nuns were driving in that oncoming lane and were hit head-on by the vehicle that crossed over the road's double yellow lines.
Well, charges have now been filed in a crash killing a Duluth nun. At points, he reached 85 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone.
Here's a snapshot of that intersection moments before impact. The two sisters were in the light blue car that Carthens hit head on.
Deadly head-on crash in Berks County. A Catholic nun from Western Pennsylvania was killed in that crash.
To my knowledge, there were no photographs of the cars involved. It was a head-on collision. However, the other driver, who was not identified, only had minor injuries. In 2016, a beloved nun and teacher was killed in a head-on collision just north of New York City. Her colleague, also a nun, is critically injured. They might exist, but I could not find any photos or court records related to this case. This article is from 2014. Today's cars are hackable. These two nuns were stabbed to death in their home in Mississippi in 2016. In my opinion, a reasonable motive was not established. Are nuns being targeted? And if so, why? Nuns dedicate their lives in service of others. Anyone who would harm them, it's just appalling. For most people, this topic brings to mind the Catherine Cesnik case, the young Baltimore nun and high school teacher whose unsolved murder was the basis for the Netflix docuseries The Keepers. The murder, like so many of these cases, would have disappeared from the public's consciousness, but two of her students attempted to find out what had happened. They found out that girls at the high school where she taught were being trafficked to powerful men in the community. Many believe she was killed because she was taking steps to protect the students.
There were other people brought in, local business owners, politicians that were part of this network.
A network, huh?
This goes bigger and deeper than we can imagine.
Good people endeavoring to help the vulnerable, and then they end up dying prematurely. It seems to be a suspiciously common phenomenon. My sympathies to everyone involved. Here is my research related to the nuns. I limited it to the last 10 years and only the US. As you can see, most of them were killed in car crashes. In my research, I came across these shocking stories. The screenshots of these articles are here, of groups of nuns, 2 or more, murdered or they died under suspicious circumstances. The reason I'm making this video is for the protection of nuns who are still with us. I had wanted to include more, particularly in relation to what happened to these Italian nuns, but it's going to have to be in part 2. I'm Elizabeth Glass.